Hey guys, Pinobi here, bringing you another LTP episode, Let's Talk Pokemon. This episode is going to be regarding tier changes, and what I mean by that is the recent, shift of certain Pokemon, being delegated or relocated or whatever to different tiers. Specifically, Pokemon that have gone from the NU environment to the UU environment, being Kangaskhan, Primeape, Executor, and Ursaring. Pokemon that have gone from UU to NU, such as Slowking, Regirock, and Poliwrath, and Pokemon that have gone from OU to UU, being Heracross. If I've missed any, you guys can feel free to tell me. Those are the ones that I could think of off the top of my head that have been relocated tier-wise as of late. So, I'm just going to be basically in this episode discussing my opinion about those Pokemon I listed, why maybe I think they might have been shifted in tiers, what can we expect for a little bit of the new metagame right before Black and White rolls upon us, and all that good stuff. So, let's just go ahead and start. By the way, if you guys can't tell, I am using a new mic. It's actually a headset. A little while ago, a couple videos ago, I did a video, one of my narrated Wi-Fi battles using a headset, and I got some really positive, feedback about the audio quality compared to my mic from before, which I realized had a lot of static, which was a big detriment to my content. So, I listened to you lovely subscribers and went out and bought a headset after borrowing my brother-in-law's, and, people received it well, so I went out and bought one, and hopefully the audio quality will be more enjoyable for you guys. So let's just go ahead and start with Pokemon that have been moved from the NU environment into the UU environment. I was actually surprised to see so much changing between the NU and UU, workings and stuff, considering that, to my knowledge, Smogon designs NU sets for the UU environment anyways. So I didn't think they really went back and, re-examined what was too good for NU and what was, not quite good enough in UU, and relocated them, appropriately. But let's just go ahead and start with Primeape, because he is the guy I am most happy to see go. If you look at, his base stats, you might think, okay, he kind of does belong in NU. Yeah, he has 105 attack, 95 speed, which are both very prominent, very good stats. Everything else, though, is pretty much shit. Base 60 defense, I believe, base 65 HP, 70 special defense. Those are not very good defenses. He can pretty much be KO'd by any super effective hit or any strong stab move, anything like that. Pretty much just, as long as he's not being attacked by a wall or, something like that. If he's being attacked by an offensive poke, he usually can't survive one hit. So, one might wonder, why does he need to be relocated? And for me, I think he kind of centralized the NU metagame a little too much for my taste. I mean, I couldn't really go, 2 battles without seeing a Scarf Primeape, to be honest with you. The Insomnia ability made it a good lead. Vital Spirit. Same effect, it prevents sleep. The only difference being, I think, Vital Spirit has a secondary effect that deals with, in-game stuff, with, wild encounters, encountering wild Pokemon more often or something like that. But, unimportant. So yeah, basically close combat is just a very powerful stab move. Primeape, of course, being a fighting type. 105 base attack. Scarf pretty much outspeeds, anything that's not scarfed. Especially in the NU environment. And, it can learn U-turn, so people were pretty much, it just kind of became this really bad prediction fest, where it's like, do I think he's going to U-turn, or do I think he's going to close combat? Do I think he's going to, and for me, who's a very heavy Gligger user, it's like, is he going to predict the switch go for the Ice Punch, or should I switch to resist the close combat? And, predictions are fine and everything like that. I mean, that's what makes the game, really enjoyable. But I found, predicting primates and primate predictions to be very much like OU, very much like, oh, should I go for, like I have my Heatran out, should I go for the fire move, or should I predict the switch to his Heatran and go for the earth power, It's just it's a little difficult for me to describe, but it was a little too OU seeming for my taste. Not quite as much skill required, just really basic A or B predictions. Everyone knew what was coming on a Scarf Primate set. It was always Scarfed, except for the rare, Banded, just to throw you off. So, yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on him. As for the other Pokemon that went to UU, we have Ursaring. Really didn't see the need for this one. Yeah, with the quick feet ability, he can get pretty fast. 130 base, attack with a facade, sorry. Can, wreck a lot. If it can get a sword dance up, it can wreck a lot. But I never really had a problem with Ursaring in the NU environment. Didn't see it too often, and when I did, it just kinda didn't work out for my opponent. He could be revenge killed. His defenses are pretty good, but if you're running the really, monstrous attacking sets, you can usually take him out with a powerful revenge killer, like, Sharpedo or something. That's not always the case. Sometimes you'll have to sack 2 pokes, but for them to get that Ursaring setup does take a lot of effort, and it usually evens out. I mean, yeah, you could use like a dual screen memento strategy into Ursaring, and it could be really, really difficult to deal with in the NU environment. But I just didn't really see it, so it doesn't bother me. I don't have too much to say on Ursaring, just in the sense that I didn't really face him too often. I didn't really see the need to put him into UU. I can understand that his power is, ridiculous with facade, but I just didn't really see it being utilized, so it didn't really bother me. Executor. This is a Pokemon I was very sad to see go. Although I can completely agree. Ursaring is very powerful. Executor is very powerful. He definitely was more powerful than people gave him credit for. He's pretty broken, to be honest. I used him as an NU lead, and I have battles, where you can see he's like so good at getting a setup. If you give him a Lumberry, you can get your Sunny Day Explosion, your Trick Room Explosion, no problem. You usually he has 95 base attack along with his 125 special attack. So you could set up the Trick Room, you could set up the Sunny Day. In both cases you'll outspeed, because you'll either have your Chlorophyll boost with Sunny Day to outspeed, or you won't with Trick Room and you'll be slower, therefore you'll outspeed. And if it's something that can't stand up to a Leaf Storm, you can Leaf Storm, then Explode. If it can stand up to a Leaf Storm and you don't think you can get the safe switch, you can just Explode. You're almost always going to go 1 for 1, because 95 base attack explosions kill, they just wreck. The basic Sunny Day Executor, like the Sunny Day Sweeper, I'm sure it's a good set, because, it's the main Smogon set, so I'm sure it's like, a good set and stuff, but I didn't really use it. I used him as a great leader, great supporter, and he was, to be honest, overpowered. So that's all I'll say about that. He had great stats, good, pretty good typing for a lead, other than U-turn scouting and stuff. Let's see, any other Pokemon? Oh yeah, Kangaskhan. This is a Pokemon that I thought people didn't really understand why he got moved, and I completely understand why he got moved. He has great base stats. Everything except for special attack is amazing. He has recovery, he has priority and Sucker Punch, which is like the strongest priority move in the game. He has, in my opinion, quote-unquote good typing. I realize he's just a normal, and therefore no resistances, bar the ghost immunity. But only having one weakness with Wish Recovery is just really powerful. He also is a phaser. You can see a Kangaskhan I've used on my team with max HP, max defense, and he could even take, stab psychics from Espeon, choice specs. and just be like lol lol lol. Okay, well not like lol lol lol, but he could survive and revenge kill or whatnot. Pokes that this is I think the most controversial, at least from what I've experienced. Pokemon that have gone from UU to NU. A lot of people I play with are very NU loving people, so this is definitely something that I've encountered a lot of discussion about. And of course, this being Slowking, Regirock, and Poliwrath. Let's just go ahead and say Poliwrath first. I don't really mind Poliwrath going into the NU environment too much. He has good attack and good defenses. 90 HP, 95 defense, and 90 special defense if I'm correct. Good defenses. He's water fighting, which, water is a very nice type to sport. Good defenses. I think that a Belly Drum Politoed set with Salac Berry is going to kind of become sort of like one of the new Belizard things that you're just going to run into and get swept by a lot. Although I think people overlook that set, to be honest. Defensive sets are definitely going to come into play. Bulk up sets, sub-punching. Overall, I'm not too worried about it, though, just because his stats aren't that ridiculous. He has no recovery other than, Rest Talking, which has a lot of counters. And his only priority is Vacuum Wave, which is a special attack, and his base special is only 70. I think we're probably actually going to see Metachams more than Poliwraths once people get over their Poliwrath boner for him moving down. As for Regirock, I disagree with Regirock being moved. I've already started using him, and I don't see how Regirock is any less broken than Executor. I mean, I use him as a Sunny Day lead, rather, and I can set up Stealth Rocks, I can set up Sun, I could go for a Stone Edge for lulz, then I could explode, give him a Lumberry, and he's a great support lead. And yeah, I just think Regirock's too good. 80 HP, 200 defense, 100 special defense is just too good. I realize Rock is not a very good typing, and they just added 2 very powerful water types to the NU environment, so they're hoping it'll probably balance out. I really don't think so, to be honest, though. Regirock, in my personal opinion, seems a little too powerful. He's going to be spreading status all over the place. He's going to be making Stealth Rocks even more prominent in NU, which I know is something a lot of people dislike, even though I don't really, but I'm just not a huge fan of Regirock being moved down, to be honest with you. But, Ice isn't a very good typing either, and we've already seen that Regice hasn't done that much, although physical defense is much better than special defense, in my opinion. Slowking, what do I think about that? He has really good base stats, kind of ridiculous to see him back in NU, but he wasn't doing that much in UU, so it's kind of this in between a rock and a hard place. I kind of want to see how he does. I'm going to reserve my right to judge him. I'm a big user of Toxic, utilizer of Toxic. I've been able to Toxic, Slowkings and easily wall them. So I'm going to wait a while to judge him. He's so slow. His special attack is good, but most people, if they want it to be as bulky as, desirable, he's not going to have the special attack to support it. As for Heracross being moved down to UU, I don't really play UU too much, so it doesn't bother me, but I have already played a Heracross, and it didn't bother me too much. Scarf sets will probably be prominent, but he's just a better pincer. I think he's okay in UU, to be honest. So that's pretty much what I think about the tier changes. Gonna have to cut this vid in a second here, but I might add some stuff in the comments, so feel free to leave your opinion, and I'll see you guys with my next LTP. This has been Panobi. Peace out.